What the hell are you still doing here? Welcome back everyone to the most consistently uploading YouTube channel on the entire website. We're actually rapidly approaching the 6-year anniversary of this channel. I know it's hard to believe. It's been a long time. It's been a wild ride. We have accumulated over 100 subscribers in that time, which I must say is almost unheard of. Now, if you are familiar with this channel, you may have seen my review of the 21 Pilots album Scaled and Icy, which came out like 3 years ago now. And here we are, 3 years later, with another album. And here I am, about to review it. Now, I must say, when I reviewed Scaled and Icy, I may have been a little generous with the ratings I gave the song. And I'm going to put that down as I was so excited for them to release new music that I blocked out the negatives. I still recognise that Saturday was a piece of trash, but the rest of the album wasn't that good either, although my review would suggest it's far better than it actually is. So I'm going to go through these songs one by one. Clancy, this new album, it was released a few days ago. Not a few days ago, it was released yesterday. It was released yesterday and I listened to it. I think I've listened through it about 6 times now. So I've got a good grasp of what I like about it and what I dislike about it. I have already formed some opinions on some of the songs, as you will find out. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the album. So obviously this song's been out for a little while now. It was the first single, so I've had a lot more time to mull this one over. I very much believe it's a strong opener. It's a very good opening song for the album, and I imagine it will be a good opening song live. I was very happy to hear this the first time I heard this, hearing Salo Folina, as well as Welcome Back to Trench. Trench is one of my favourite albums of all time, so you know, it got me in the mood. You know, he's got a good flow going, it's good lyrics. There's not a lot to complain about for this song. It's groovy, it's a strong opener, it gives us Trench nostalgia, which in a way sort of false advertising for this album, because later on it's definitely not as good as Trench. I'll say that much. That sort of section there, that feels very blurry face. I do respect this album for it's got elements from all of the previous albums. Other than Vessel. There's not a lot of Vessel love in this, unfortunately, but I mean you can't win them all. You can't win them all. And that's okay. Now, in my opinion, Next Semester, the first of the stinkers. This song is a bit stinky. I get that they're going for something different. This is very different from anything they've done before. This is sort of like, was it garage rock? I don't know exactly what it's called, but I'm not a huge fan of this sort of song. It doesn't have a very good bass line. I mean it has the bass tone is alright, but what's actually being played is not fantastic. It's a bit boring, and I know for that genre it's kind of that sort of pulsing is expected, but in my mind not necessarily welcome. Another thing that sort of irks me about this song is some of the lyrics and the music video in particular very much asserts this idea that this is the song that the crowd like chants and sings along to and has the fucking time of their life. That's fine, but you don't need to tell us to do that. I know it's not literally telling us to do that, but that's what it feels like to me. And it kind of worries me, like what are they're so into this idea that is going to be the one that everyone sings along to. What if they replace it at the end of their set? What if they replace trees? What then? This part's grown on me, I will say. The lyrics, his voice is quite nice here. Obviously Tyler is he's a creative guy. He can do what he wants, but in my opinion, I think he should maybe take a step back from the guitar. I think he'd never used he probably used the guitar, but he taught himself the guitar between Trench and Scale and Icy. And that's sort of where it went downhill. So, and the guitar is a bit annoying in Scale and Icy. I feel like it makes a lot of the songs feel it's a little bit too generic. I mean, Trench went hard as fuck on the bass, and it was amazing, and there was no guitar at all. So I know they were going in a different direction with Scale and Icy. I know part of the lore is that it's meant to be kind of poppy trash, but it's a bit of a shit excuse, and you can't blame it all on the guitar. But yeah, that was Next Semester, the third single, Backslide. I was very happy when I heard this. I was worried after Next Semester that they might try and follow that genre a bit more, but this is definitely more. I'm getting blurry face from this song, and that's in the best way. This is just a solid song. There's emotion. There is raw emotion in Tyler's singing and his lyrics, and it's just refreshing to hear after Next Semester. And I love that little nod to how Saturday was heavily criticised. Just realised I wanted to give these ranks out of 10 as I went through. So Overcompensate. It's a strong 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Next Semester, see, the part that's grown on me wants me to give it a bit higher, but then the rest of it just really doesn't sit right with me, so I am going to have to give it a 4.7 out of 10. 4.7. And Backslide gets another 8. I think it's valid. Okay, next song. The first of the new ones, Midwest Indigo. On my first listen through of this album, sorry, I wasn't overly happy with this song. I feel like it doesn't sit perfectly, especially that bit. I know it's supposed to be like, it's supposed to sound like sharp, and the bit where he says not yet is meant to be like sharp and angry, and it doesn't really sit right. It's not very nice. I mean, it's 21 Pilots, so it's probably going to grow on me, but this song doesn't feel very 21 Pilots. Listening to it now, I'm enjoying it more than when I first heard it. It has already grown on me a bit, and it'll probably continue to grow on me more. But for the moment, I'm not overly satisfied, so I am going to give this a 6 out of 10. Now, Routines in the Night. This is a good song. This is a very good song. It's good lyrics. It's got a nice flow. It's easy to listen to. Like, they don't go. Sometimes they go a bit too hard in the choruses, and This level is a very nice level. It's a very strong chorus without it being loud and lots of instruments going on. It's a pleasant listen. It's a very nice listen. I mean, there's nothing overly special about the singing in this song, but I think it just complements the instrumental so well. You know, it's not an overly special melody or anything. It's a lot of simple elements being brought together to create something bigger. Wow, just to find writing a song, incredible. No, this is a very strong song. It just hits the right spot for me, which is why I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. You may think that's generous, but that's my opinion. And I'd love to hear everyone else's opinions, to be honest. So far, I haven't spoken to anyone about this album. I haven't read anything online. I don't know what anyone else thinks about these songs. So I would love to know if I'm alone in loving this, or if I'm alone in like disliking others that we will listen to soon. Vinette. I didn't know how to pronounce that name until he sings it in the song. Then again, he's just a white man from Ohio, so does he know how to pronounce it either? Sometimes when he's rapping, he sounds like his voice is straining a bit, and it irks me a little bit. It doesn't ruin it, but it brings it down a peg a little bit when it comes through. He's a very good rapper. He's got a very nice flow, and he can transition between rap and singing very fluidly. You're doing great as well, Josh, by the way. I have no complaints about the drums, so you're doing a fantastic job. I don't have a whole lot. I like the stabs. They're nice. They're very solid. Stabs can sometimes feel a bit cheesy, but if they're done right like this, I'm happy. I'm very happy. I'm excited to hear these songs live. I think they could pull them off really well. I mean, I'm not seeing them live until next May. But we'll see. We'll see. There'll be plenty of other videos from all the tours in America, but I'm gonna give wait, am I even pronouncing it right now? Vignette? I don't know. I'm giving this song a 7.5. A good level. It's a good level. The Craving. Jenna's version, specifically. They released the single version the day before. Was it the day? Maybe the day before this album came out. I really did not like it. I felt like there was too much going on. And now I've heard this version, Jenna's version, I was so happy. Because it's literally it's one layer of vocals and one layer of ukulele. And I think there's some like very subtle other sounds going on at some point later on. It's so simple and it's so just lovely compared to the single version where there's a lot going on. And it got me thinking about the other songs that Tyler has put in the albums about Jenna. So you've got Tear in My Heart, Smithereens, and Formidable. 3 okay songs, Formidable a lot less so. But I did feel like there was possibly slightly too much going on in a song that's meant for his wife, and the fact that this version is called Jenna's version makes me think she prefers a much more stripped back version of these songs, and I agree with her. I think this is so much better than the version of this with all the vocal layering and all the other instruments, which is fine. Obviously you can do all those things fantastically, but for a song like this, it's just very refreshing. Yeah, there's not a lot going on at all, but there doesn't need to be. There doesn't always need to be, and they've done it right here, so I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And this Lavish, it's another one that I like. It's good. We're yet to get to another one that irks me, but good flow, as usual. I've never actually noticed the bass in this one before. Simple, yet effective. I really like the vocals in these choruses as well. Now that's good layering. That is very nice layering. I like the energy that's coming out of these vocals. It's very, almost mysterious, a little bit sneaky. I'm not decided on how I feel about this verse. It's good lyrics, it's funny lyrics, and it's a nice flow. But when I first heard it, I was like, that's kind of weird. It doesn't sit amazingly in the song, but I guess I don't mind it. It's okay. The chorus is definitely the strongest part of this song, I must say. Another 7.5. Now here, we're approaching stinky territory. This is the Never Take It of Clancy. I feel Never Take It being probably the worst song other than Saturday from Scaled and Icy, in my opinion, obviously. I get what they're trying to do in that transition, but I don't like it. The way he's pacing, the way he's saying navigating, it sounds like it's been like digitally sped up. Something about it just gives me a bit of an off feeling, which is a shame because the lyrics he's singing actually mean a surprising amount to me. What he's saying, pardon my delay, I'm navigating my head. That is the story of my life. Like, I relate to that more than any other 21 Pilots lyric, and they've had to put it in one of their much weaker songs, which is a shame. It's a shame, but what can you do? Not every song they write is going to be perfect. They're not above criticism. I know a lot of their fans will be very quick to say this is a banger without actually considering that not everything everyone releases is always a banger. Even if you think all their previous material is solid, there's still potential to release things that are a bit below par. In my opinion, this is one of them. Basses are just a bit jarring. Okay, just gonna stop that one there. Speaking of bass again, I remember watching an interview where Tyler talked about creating Trench, and he said he fell in love with the bass and he put a lot of energy into that, and it shows. It really shows in Trench. The bass is one of the strongest elements. I'd like it if he fell in love with the bass again, because it feels like he's maybe got a little bit of a shaky relationship with the bass now. Anyway, my final verdict for Navigating. It's not for me. Maybe it's for you. It's not for me, definitely. Which is why I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Snap Back. This is our next song. Number 10 on the album. It's a little bit boring at the start here, in my opinion. I'm going to stop clarifying in my opinion because I've said that too many times now. There's not a lot to say about this song. Like, it sounds fine. I like the way the phrase snapback is used. It's used in multiple contexts here. It has multiple meanings. Now, instrumentally, it's good. The vocals are fine. I'm gonna give it a 6.3 out of 10, which sounds bad. I feel like a lot of people, when they read anything that's like below an 8, they're like, oh, that's not very good. But in reality, anything above a 6 is good. Everyone's like, oh, 6 is mid. Some people would say 7 is mid, which is just completely ignoring the definition of mid. No, 6 and above is good, in my opinion. For fuck's sake, I keep saying my opinion. Anyway, next one, Oldies Station. I mean, I don't know how well the music is being picked up through the mic. I probably should have done a little sound check before I started recording. But the layering of the vocals in this song are way too much for what the rest of the song are doing. They could definitely take a page out of the Craving Jenner's version. This song's vocals would benefit greatly from simplicity. The recording and layering aspect, not the singing aspect. The singing aspect is simple, but the layering and the production is too much for what the rest of the song is doing. Especially in headphones, I found it was a bit uncomfortable. It felt like there was like 7 Tylers standing around me, and like 2 instruments. It was like too much of that. Not enough of this. There needs to be a balance. I think this would be a really nice song if they brought up the instruments a bit more. Piano would be really nice for this. 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 layers on the vocals. Actually, scratch that. 1 is enough for this song. I haven't done too much listening out to what the lyrics are actually saying for these songs, so I've been focusing on the actual musical aspects of it so much. He could be saying some really meaningful stuff, I'm sure he is, but looking at it as a song, it's not very strong, and for that I am going to have to give it, just looking at my notes, what did I give it? 5 out of 10. That's right for this song. A lot of people will disagree with that, but it's just a bit meh. It's mid. It's perfectly mid, dead on 5 out of 10. Getting to the end here now, the next one is At the Risk of Feeling Dumb. It does feel kind of weird when Tyler uses words like homie. You know, he's rapping, a lot of the music is hip-hop inspired, but when he uses like just words like that, it's like he's trying to not be in his mid-30s. And obviously there's nothing wrong with being in your mid-30s. That goes without saying. It's just a little bit like, okay. When you look at him, you don't expect that word to come out, I guess. No, this is definitely the weakest part of the song. This isn't great at all. Really need to step away from the guitar, I'm sorry. Some people might really disagree with that, but I always admired 21 Pilots for not using the guitar, and now suddenly they're using it. It's like, I can't get it off my mind. Like my own prejudgment aside, it's like, it's not used very well. It's just not. Anyway, At the Risk of Feeling Dumb. Gets a 5 point. I'll give it a 6. I'll give it a 6. The first half of the song is very good. It's not very good. It's good. No, I'm bringing it back down. 5.7. 5.7. That's it. We're leaving it at that. It still feels too mean. First minute is good, and then like the next 2 minutes is like, this isn't. I don't like this. Okay, 5.8. That's it. 5.8. The finale, the grand finale, Paladin Strait. From the moment they released the track list, I was excited for this one because I really like the name Paladin Strait. That's a fantastic song name. Whether the song will live up to the name, however, let's listen. I don't know what a Paladin Strait is. It's a straighter body of water. There's not a whole lot going on, but it's good. It's vibey. Where's the bass? I mean, I know it's there, but it's not doing much, and that's sort of what it's been doing for the whole album. There's no one album where it's like, oh yeah, the bass is really good on this one. And it's a big disappointment for me as a bassist and a lover of Trench. I was hoping for a bit more, especially since we're coming into this album with welcome back to Trench. I thought there'd be more Trench in it. And there is some Trench in it, but not enough. Not enough. I know, I sound like the most ungrateful fan right now, but it's a review. I am criticising it, I'm complimenting it, and I'm criticising it. So when the song suddenly goes quiet for like, I'm not sure how long, but when I listened to this when it came out at midnight the other day, so I was pretty sleepy, and then when the silence came, like I actually fell asleep, and then I woke back up when the music came in. It took me by surprise. It's a weirdly long silence. Some birds tweeting. There we go. We're back. I feel like this is a nice way to end the album. Just classic Uke. Uke and little else. Not many people can pull that off, but these guys can, I feel.
So few, so proud, so emotional. Hello, Clancy.
And we're finishing the album with a reference to fairly local of all songs. I'm not complaining, it's a good callback. It's a strange feeling when you've been waiting a while for an album, especially from one of your favourite artists. One who used to be your favourite artist, and then you get through it and you're like, oh, that's it, that's what I was waiting for. I'm not overly disappointed. I am disappointed in some of it, but there's a lot of it that I'm very happy with, and I think we should celebrate that. I think not all albums have to be perfect. There's a lot of people talk about like perfect 10 out of 10 albums, and they're like the only ones that matter, like I know Mad Villainy by MF Doom, which I agree is a perfect album, but it sets an unrealistic idea that an album has to be solid all the way through, which is rarely, very, very rarely the case. And it's okay for there to be some stinky moments. That's okay. And I'm not going to let it take away from the beautiful, flowery smelling moments. A large chunk of this album is very good. A large chunk of it is not so very good. And some of it is kind of bad, and some of it's kind of mid, and that's okay. So I'm going to give this album, it's a 7 out of 10. I'm giving it a 7. I don't want to let the bad parts ruin the good parts. I'm not overly praising it like I did with Scaled and Icy. In fact, if I had to go back to Scaled and Icy, I'd probably give that a 6 out of 10. Yeah, but this album it's a step up from the last one, it's a step down from Trench, but then again, in my opinion, Trench is a 10 out of 10, so that was never going to be beaten anyway. Fingers crossed for the next one. Was there anything else I wanted to say? I don't know. Thanks for watching. Leave your opinion if you can be bothered, and I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is. Bye bye.